So I read a lot of news about Ukraine, about Russia, about bots and trolls, and how all this kind of disinformation gets spread. And I also listen to other YouTubers to get their perspective, including Jake Bro and Vlad Vexler and Anna from Ukraine and Georgie and Johnny Pearce and Paul here. And so there's a number of them. This is Paul from Combat Vet Reacts. And I heard that this actually happened to Johnny Pearce at ATP Geo, and we need to do something before it spreads. So I'm asking you to listen to his plea here, and let's think about how we can process and proceed together. Here he is.
You probably notice that in the last 2 days, you haven't been able to see any of my videos. And the reason is not because I haven't been making them. It's because my channel is being held hostage by hackers who compromised YouTube's Content ID system. And YouTube, I can't get them to take action, and I need your help. The Content ID system is YouTube's tool that allows big media copyright holders to upload all of their content into a database, and YouTube then scans all videos uploaded to the platform to make sure they don't contain copyright protected audio and video. And if they do find a match, they allow that copyright holder to block a video or to take all the revenue from that video.
Now, I've run afoul of them before. I played a little clip of Ronald Reagan speaking and somebody owned the copyright, or this news clip here. And what I do is well within copyright because I'm adding to and commentating on news clips as they are out there. So that's perfectly within copyright land, but still I've run afoul of it. And okay, I get how that works, but something nefarious is happening here, and you need to hear what he has to say.
But it appears that system has been breached by hackers and is being used to target and silence me, I suspect, because I'm a Ukraine war content creator. To give you some context, when you look at the actual claim...
Before he gets into that, the bots are really active. In fact, I was just reading an article about how in Slovakia, which just had their elections, which just were going the wrong way yesterday, the internet, the bots, all the fake accounts, all that was very, very active, and it wouldn't surprise me if that's what's going on here, or he's being targeted by hackers or that kind of thing. Listen to what he has to say.
That this company called Wild Films India, they've been blocking every one of my videos, so no one can view it. Obviously, it can't earn revenue because no one watches it. When they ask what content have I used inappropriately, they simply give me a WhatsApp number. And when I text the number, the person on the other end demands manager level access to my channel. And as you can see,
that's very not smart to give them manager level access. That's not a good idea at all. So it's good that he avoided that.
They claim that every single second of my video, the first 9 minutes, is actually theirs. You can see they claims they own me talking.
Wait, hold on. They own him talking? So here, sometimes these kind of people tend to overshoot or overplay their hand and show you that what they're doing is ridiculous. Him talking is a copyright claim. It'd be one thing if he showed a video or something and they said, "Oh, well, we own this," or they were judicious about those kind of things. But here, this shows you that something's not right.
Claims they own me reading the news from one website. They claim to own the news at an entirely different website. They claim that they own me talking. I don't use third-party music. I don't use any video clips at all. And you can see that this is preposterous. They own just large segments of me talking, and then they don't own me reading from the same news source. It's complete nonsense. But as you can see, disputing this claim under YouTube's policies, the first round of disputes alone is going to take me 30 days. The next round will be another 30, and then finally YouTube will give me enough information that I can actually take these hackers to court. The issue is that I'm a news channel.
Okay, so what happens here, this is very similar to like a business being shady. Instead of actually playing fair about, price and product quality and things like that, just suing the other business and tying them up in court so that they can't actually function appropriately. That's the kind of thing that's happening here. It's an equivalent where they're just tying him up by blocking his videos.
Day old news is worthless, right? Who would buy a 90-day-old newspaper? And the bizarre thing about this hack is that these hackers don't want money, right? They could have taken the video's revenue for themselves, and they could have demanded money in exchange for releasing the copyright claims, but they didn't. They demanded channel manager access.
Yeah, and that's another sign that something's just not right.
Channel manager access won't give them control of the channel's finances. I'm paid through a different venue. What they will be able to do is delete my videos and upload their own videos. Functionally, their goal is not money. Their goal is to silence me.
Yep, it's information warfare. This is what's going on. And it's not just him. And honestly, if it can happen to him or Johnny Pearce, it can happen to me, it can happen to Jake Bro, it can happen to Vlad. We all need to be dealing with this now. It's not Paul's fight, it's our fight. Please help Paul.
I don't talk about personal stuff very much on this channel, but my wife is very pregnant. Like any day now, she's going to go into labor and you know, my bag is packed to go to the hospital. And with my channel held hostage, I can't provide for my family. My daughter is going to come into the world and her dad won't have any way to pay his mortgage, right? It's kind of a crisis, but I need your help. And here's how you can help. First off, if you ever thought about becoming a member of combatvetnews.com, or maybe you were a member but you canceled, it would mean a ton to me if even just for like a month or two you became a member. I own the entirety of the site. No one can copyright claim me, right? Nobody can take it down. So it's the most secure vehicle I have to at least continue to bring in some money.
As a management professor, I've thought about this kind of thing because I'm at YouTube's mercy with what I say. If they want to take something down, they can take it down. That's a smart solution and something that the rest of us should be trying to think about how to work around if we want to have any longevity with this.
But the most important thing is that you can do to help is get YouTube to take action. I'm confident that if someone from YouTube's cybersecurity department takes a look at this, they'll know right away that their system has been hacked. So you can go on Twitter and tag at YouTube creators or at
YouTube or at YouTube creators, and the channel's name is Combat Veteran Reacts. Please do that. And if you do that, please put it in a comment below. Like, you can pause this now and then do that and then put the comment below. I would appreciate it. I just want to know that other people are active and aware. His name is Paul. It's Combat Veteran Reacts. And again, at YouTube or at YouTube creators.
YouTube. Use the hashtag content ID hack and just explain to them, don't be impolite, but explain to them that one of their Ukraine war content creators is being targeted by malicious hackers abusing and who's compromised their content ID system. Also, if you know anyone at YouTube, please reach out to them and see if you can get this problem in front of someone who's qualified to actually solve it. And if you want to amplify the message, you could also tag other Ukraine war content creators, because I believe if they're not...
We're already paying attention. And again, they're not just coming for Paul. They're going to be coming for others. So it's important not to let this voice be silenced. One of the reasons that I started this was because I saw the huge drop-off after February, March of 2022, maybe April. By April, it's hard to find anything on the news, and I'm following it, but I can't find it anywhere. So I started creating it so other people could follow it. Same thing here, right? It's very important that these voices not be silenced.
Not already targeted, they're probably going to get targeted by this scam shortly as well. And if you want to tag other creators who sometimes advocate for small creators like me who've been targeted by large entities like Ludwig or Moist Critical, getting them to amplify my issue would also go a long way. Because if my theory is right, that the ultimate person pulling these strings is actually Russia, and and they've been trolling my comments for years. They try to get into my accounts on a routine basis. It would be a huge problem for YouTube that they would have been compromised by potentially a foreign actor.
Trolls are one thing, but what they're doing here, totally different, and it's at a whole new level, and it needs to be stopped.
But we know on this channel that the Russians are cowards. They will fold, and that if you are strong in the face of bullies, those guys break. And they're not going to get me to stop. I know you guys have my back. I thank you so much for all the support you've given me, and I definitely thank you for all the help that you're going to give me in this issue. And I hope to see you guys here on YouTube on a future video, but I will definitely see you on combatvetnews.com. Thanks again.
All right, Paul, I'm there for you. I know some of my viewers also watch you, and they're there for you, and we'll see if we can get this resolved. Okay, so it's not just Paul. I talked to Jonathan at ATP Geopolitics. Here's a video he put out explaining his situation, and then we'll watch a video about he and I interacting, talking about this.
Welcome to another ATP Geopolitics video. This is myself, Jonathan, and S. Pearce. I'm not sure what I want to achieve by this video. You know, I've been, I think, targeted in a way where my channel is now effectively demonetized because every single video is being challenged. I even did a nursery rhyme video where I just read out a nursery rhyme. I had a video with a blank screen with me just saying the word silence twice. Both of those were demonetized. Then I appealed. I've appealed all of these, but it takes about 3 days for them to come through. I've just had an email today saying, hey, great news. After manually reviewing your video, we've determined that it is suitable for all advertisers. Brilliant. It's me reading nursery rhymes. So I'm uploading videos to my other channel and they're getting through and they're fine. It's not a problem. So this is a channel-wide thing where I'm being targeted. Now, why am I doing this video? Well, it seems...
Same thing with Paul. If they can do it to him, they can do it to Paul, they can do it to Jake, they can do it to Vlad, they can do it to all of us.
It got worse. Now, I've had 2 videos today that have been blocked, and they have been blocked because of copyright infringements. But one video is 4.5 minutes of me just doing the news, and then another video is like it gives you the range of when the copyright infringement is. There's right from the beginning to 7 minutes 20, and its content has been found, and it's WhatsApp me and an Indian number. I don't understand. So that's also...
I understand it's the same thing. What's happening to him is happening to Paul and is about to happen to others.
The claim for the other video too. So we have 0 minutes to 5 minutes, and it's another Indian WhatsApp. What's the same Indian WhatsApp number? But this makes no sense. Like this video is the 7 minutes 20 is me literally talking in front of my own map. The only thing I can think is me talking in front of my own map and reading some ISW, something I've done for 1.5 years, never been a problem. Now there's a copyright infringement claim and the video's pulled and blocked. Like, what do I get? How do I, if I dispute that, it takes 3 days and then that's effectively the video demonetized again. Now, could it be that I'm showing my map, which takes into account Syriac Maps' map? Well, it seems to be an open source map. There's no copyright. The copyright is of the geobasis, the Google imagery data. As in the Google part of it's copyrighted, but the rest of it looks completely open source. And so I don't think that's an issue. I just don't understand what's going on. I can't even get you to watch this video and see what's wrong with it because this video is now blocked. It is literally me.
Okay, so this happened a few days ago where he was presenting this, and I saw Paul's. So let's talk to Jonathan. I had a little Zoom chat with him, and this is what our conversation was so that you can get a better sense of what is actually going on. This is important. We need your help. So to emphasize the same point, what we just saw with Paul, I talked to Johnny Pearce. Johnny, tell me what you've experienced.
So this goes back sometimes. So it starts with Russian trolls going on your YouTube threads, which is something we all experience in this kind of community. And that over time, when you get more and more of them, your channel gets bigger. It seemed to be that those people or other entities were reporting. My guess is people were reporting my channel incorrectly, as in reporting them for things I hadn't done. And that then flags up to YouTube that this is a problematic channel, because you're getting, I assume, an en masse reporting of the channel by Russian entities. Now, then I was starting to get videos that were restricted for advertising revenue straight away without, you know, they were being scraped by. So what happens? You get bots that scrape your videos to see whether there's any content that's dodgy that advertisers don't want to be associated with. Yeah. Sure. I work really hard to have non-inappropriate content. My content is bona fide. I'm really honest about that. I don't show videos that are horrific or anything like that, because, you know, that's not what I'm about. But it's got to a point where 100% of my videos are automatically restricted as soon as I upload them. So I've done a couple of things. We're going to get onto the Indian thing in a second, but I've done a couple of things. I've recorded nursery rhymes, me just reading out nursery rhymes, and that's been they've been ad restricted. And so you're like, this is not a content thing, this is a channel thing. And then I've taken the same videos that have been restricted on my ATP Geopolitics channel, and I've uploaded them to my ATP Philosopher channel. So I have another channel that's separate from the Ukraine war, and every video gets on fine there. So it gets accepted. So they're not being accepted on ATP Geopolitics, but they are being accepted over there. I'm getting stuff that's restricted that clearly doesn't break appropriate, you know, break advertising restriction rules. Okay. So there's something about my channel that is being treated, you know, my channel is being treated differently than my other channel and the channels in other sectors. And so that is, I think, as a result of possibly Russian entities manipulating the systems. So the systems are fine, but they can be gamed. And I think the systems are being gamed in the advertising revenue area. Now, the second thing, which is probably what you're talking about here, which is the Wild Films India. So I got 2 videos, and I think this was before Paul from Combat Veterans had any of his done. I think they might be testing the water with me, maybe, I don't know. But I had 2 videos that were fully blocked and taken down, which means you get obviously no advertising revenue, but also no one can watch them, right? And that was due to a copyright infringement. I get a WhatsApp telephone number from India that is the culprit of the infringement claim, and other people trying to watch the videos get this screen coming up saying you can't watch this because Wild Films India has made a copyright claim against this. I then make an appeal. One of those the appeal's been upheld, so it's now viewable, but then that's 3 days after a newsworthy video is out, so no one's going to watch it, right? So they've succeeded anyway in people not seeing my content, and therefore it's demonetized as well, and all that kind of stuff. But the end result, because the appeals process in the ad restriction issue and the appeals process in the copyright infringement issue ends up the same place, which it takes 3 days, after which my videos are not evergreen. So you only watch them on the day they're released, right? After that, no one watches them. So just by doing that, they've won. My content doesn't get watched and it doesn't get monetized, and I'm not incentivized for doing the content I do. I do the content I do because I'm obsessed, and it's part of my, like, my feeling of morality and politics. But I spend about 10 to 12 hours a day on this, right? Every day of the week, 7 days a week, 360. I worked on Christmas Day. I took my laptop on holiday. This is what I do, right? And then for YouTube, maybe not as a fault of their own, but by being gamed, turn that off. It stops my content getting out. It's a win for the disinformation. It's a win for the Russian, like, hybrid warfare entities, and this has to be stopped. Anyway, that's absolutely. I tried to say that as quickly and as thoroughly as I could.
No, that's exactly right. And if they can do that to you, and they can do that to Paul, they can do that to me, they can do that to Jake and Vlad and everybody else. So this is why this is important. Okay,
and I think they have done it to Artur Rihi as well, and I think they've done it to. I think so. Some people are saying that there are other channels like Denis Davidov as well. There are other channels that have had advertising revenue. The ad restriction thing definitely happens with them, although they have also shown I know that Arta is shown some dodgier stuff in the past, so that may be justifiable to some extent. But I believe that at least some of these other
Yeah, but
channels
your
have
nurse,
been
what
affected.
nursery rhymes did you choose? I'm just curious.
I did Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall, which is actually referring to a cannon from
That's,
Napoleonic
you
era. So
know, there's violence there. You know, he had a great fall.
yeah,
So,
this is
all
it.
right. So listen,
And
if you're still listening to this, please go to, I'll put the links below to the at YouTube so that you can appeal for both ATP Geopolitics as well as for Paul's channels. This is important because it affects all of us being able to get the message out to you. Thank you for being willing to do that. If you do that, please put it in the messages below because I want to personally thank you. Thanks, Johnny. I really appreciate it. Thanks for
thanks,
spending
Gary.
the time. Bye-bye.
Cheers, mate. Thanks.
Okay, so this is ATP Geopolitics, Johnny Pearce, and he just got his reply a day ago. Hi, ATP Geopolitics. Good news. After reviewing your dispute, Wild Films India has decided to release their copyright claim on your YouTube video title, and they go through that. By the way, it's happened to them. He's had to fight that, but they're tying him up. And to whatever, like this, I think is a prototype. If they can get it to work with him and they can get it to work with Paul, they're going to keep going, and they're probably going to have different entities going through this. Everything to shut down this voice. So please, I'm asking you to help. Thank you for your time and your attention watching this. I really do appreciate it. Thank you even more if you were willing to put in the comments at YouTube and tell them what was going on. And thank you for being the kind of person that cares about Ukraine.